Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon we're gonna be continuing the engine assembly, the pre-assembly process, in which we are basically looking to anything that could go wrong with it. So we are taking measurement, we are taking precaution to make sure that everything sits to its place. And then after that, we are moving on to the final assembly. But first of all, a lot of things, a lot of stuff to do. This morning, we did the bearing clearance verification and everything was spot on. So we are super happy with that. That means that the machine shop did a really good job. Everything is pretty much spot on altogether, so there's not a bigger gap on one bearing and a smaller one on others. They are all pretty much identical, I would say, and even there we are also in the exact spot we want to be. let's say that if we were going from 0 to 100, like if it was between 0 and 1, the tolerance, 0 being it's almost too tight and 1 being it's almost too open, we are at the 3/4 up there, and which mean this is perfect because there's gonna be a touch more oil through the bearing. However, that means we could have a bit of less oil pressure in the system. But to compensate something like that, we are also using a higher volume, higher pressure oil pump on the engine. So that will balance everything. So the bigger clearance will reduce the pressure, but our oil pump is going to boost the pressure, which should actually end up a slightly over normal pressure, which is perfect. So that being all said, let's keep going. Where were we with that? I'm gonna make a bit of a cleanup here, just put some stuff on the side, because basically what I think we're gonna do now is remove the crankshaft, and we will move forward to basically remove some bearings and do the next procedure step. From what I remember, we are basically removing 2 bearing and 1 and the truss bearing from there, and then we're moving on to having just part of the crank in there. Well, the crank in there on just 2 bearings, the front and the rear one. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna just throw that on the side. Those, I don't think I'm gonna need these for a good amount of time. The silence when everything's shutting down. That for now, this is all going there. This is going there. I think I might be having a problem with the plastic gauge, because I feel like I'm gonna need some for the piston, and that we won't be able to get enough plastic gauge out of that for all 8 pistons, but we're going to see that later on in the procedure. I might take a look at the end of this stream this afternoon and order some more. So yeah, now we have done a bit of space here. Let me just take a bit of blue towel here, and we're gonna put that on here so that we can set our beautifully washed crank there. You know it's gonna be a good afternoon when you just prepared a brand new coffee for yourself. So crankshaft, I'm gonna bring it over there. So let's do that. Dual front. There we go, so you can see the massive crankshaft. That thing here is probably like around 40 pounds. It's so heavy. Maybe 30 to 40, I will say. Just making sure we're gonna sit on the side where you won't search to go anywhere. Aha, there you go. This is the side. Boom, so now this is done. This is looking great. Here we have no major issues in here. That's my door opening up a little bit due to some winds. I'm gonna take out the packaging of the little bearings, and we're gonna read again what's up with all that. So, the main bearing clearance, that's done. Next page. Check crankshaft run out. So the crankshaft run out, I'm not exactly sure. Precision measurement. Yep, we're gonna take out a new tool that we haven't used yet, but basically dual side. Dual side. What we're looking for is to add a gauge that's gonna give us if there's a gap or something. Sorry for that. If there's a gap of some sort, and if actually the crank is turning perfectly round, or if it's moving up and down, if it's wobbling. Usually you have a bit of tolerance for those, but we're gonna take a look and check that. So basically we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna Okay, yeah, so 8, and then we are reinstalling everything again. So let's go and let's do that. So here, remove all upper, and the upper is those one, like I already said, even though they are at the bottom now, it's because the engine is upside down. Remove all upper main bearing shells from the block except 1 and 5, 1 and 5. Clean the remaining shells, lubricate them with oil, then set the crank in place at top of them. Lube the number 1 and 5 main journal on it too. Set a dial indicator to measure along the surface of the number 3 center main journal, being sure the indicator tip won't drop into the crank oil. Oh, okay, yeah. Is what is important. Anything more than 1,000 or so is cause for possible concern. Okay, perfect. So let's do that. So I'm gonna take my tool out. Just need to remember where it is. It should be in here, I think. Not that one, actually. There it is. So many new tools, you know, classic. Still closed. I'm gonna open the box and probably change my glove after that because there was a bit of dust in there. And quality thing is acquired by not being careless. So let's do that. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some new ones once I'm gonna have that out of there. So basically here, if you want to take a look with me, ta-da! That's what we have. So this is the gauge. That gauge, basically, when you're pushing, you can see how the needle is moving. So you can adjust that to being at 0 on a specific spot, and then we're gonna see to what it is going down, to what it is moving up. And this is basically in 0.001 inch, the accuracy, I guess. And it's 0 to 1 inches, something like that. Oh yeah, so it's 10th. So yeah, every time it's moving, it's 0.001. So it should be really round and perfectly up there. It shouldn't move by a lot, if not by nothing at all. Ooh, I love the color. It's some details, but I love the color. It's looking great. So yeah, so basically I'm gonna be doing that and pushing that to its place. And I think I can adjust a little bit that, to be fair, but I'm not sure exactly. So yeah, we're gonna be adjusting that. Here's some different point. And here is the thing that is really cool with that. It's a magnetic block that weighs quite a lot here, and so I can just turn it on and it's gotta become a magnetic thing down there. So that's really nice, and we're gonna use that to make sure we are precise with that. So it's all an arm that we can move around freely. So go like this, go like that. I realize you're not seeing a lot of things here because the camera just went down, but basically, yeah, you're going like this, like that, and here I should have what it takes to push that in here. So I think that's gonna be quite a fun tool to use. There we go. What's up? That's probably Micah, right? I don't know. Oh, maybe not. I thought it was just a straight flow. Hey, what's up, Bloodstone? Hope you're doing great. Now that you muted yourself, I cannot see what you wrote first. Friendly, why did it screen there. Is there an FLO in that bloodstone? Sending. 3 messages. Oh, I cannot see the messages there, but you probably wrote something before. What the heck? Why is that window always broken there? Let me check. Oh, you did a flow. I just saw it. And now Micah's getting into that. Hey man, just want to stop in and say hello, but I am watching Kickstarter, so have to go. All good, brother. Thank you for stopping by. There you go. All right, now it's working again. Okay. And Micah has been timing himself out. We should set a challenge if we reach 1,000. That will be fun. Starting the engine, no? I was thinking like 1,000 minutes of stream, which is basically 16 hours. So that we should be able to go full magnetic on here. Hell yeah. Now that's not moving. Yo, it's a really strong magnet. We're gonna need that for the differential also, by the way. So that, and we're gonna be basically setting that here on the bearing, on the journal surface of the crank when we're gonna be ready. So for first of all, we're gonna put that here. Just going to make sure we're not damaging it. There you go. And then we're gonna move to actually removing those bearings we were talking about. So let's put some new gloves and move on. Thank you for those who are already here this afternoon. Really appreciate that. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Mine is pretty good so far. Micah, tonight when we're gonna play on street, I found the ratting spot. Like, I'm sure the hive is pretty cool. You never showed it to me yet, but honestly, I found one that is so good. It's next level shit right there. All right, let's remove this bearing. Like so, not throwing anything to the ground, if you know what I mean.
Did you know with Amazon Prime, you get a free sub every month? Any primers?
Thank you, Jennison. Remember those guys, that Amazon Prime does exist. But yeah, Micah, you're gonna be amazed with what I found. There we go. I'm gonna just put that big truss bearing in here with those and to the side, but in the middle of the table so I don't drop it. So now, they say lubricate those, that's right. Clean the remaining shells, lubricate them with oil and set the crank in. Perfect. Cleaning, we have almost already done that. We're gonna make sure, just with a dry towel. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Yeah, man, you're gonna see, you're gonna love that. We can basically have all a different spot, and we are controlling one of the extract, the green flare extract. Did you know that the mall has a 3rd floor with no loot in it? I discovered that like today because I spawned there. Nice. But yeah, the mall next to the green flare extract has a 3rd floor with a machine gun with no loot except here and there a bit of drink, maybe food sometimes, and no one's looking up there. And if we're bringing Bolty, people will think it's sniper scav on the top, but like there's so many corners you can get people there. I kill a level 55 during lunchtime there. 55 with a big ass AK. All right, so here we go. It's time to bring the oil in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use my trusty little thing here with fresh oil in there. just gonna lubricate that, making sure we are all set. Enough oil for it to not get damaged. Nothing better yet. It's gonna happen, Micah. Don't worry. Oiling. So this is exactly what happened in your engine. Basically, oil is getting spread on those surface, and then it's bringing the joy to the actual thing here. It prevents it from getting damaged. There we go. And then we need to set that on top here, lubricate the journal, and we are good to test. So I'm just going to do that in the meantime. Actually here. Solid. Now I'm gonna do that. So what we want here is to test that surface right there. So we're going to make sure that we are reaching that pretty well. And like they said, we need to make sure we are not actually having anything getting into that groove. So basically, since there is those, I will try to show it better to you. Since we have those holes for oil, we need to make sure we are sitting on a side, basically. All right, and now, with that said, I don't know if this is what, oh yeah, that's how you actually do it. So, gonna make sure that we are not having issues with that near it. And so, same thing with that. There we go. There we go. And now what I can do is release that, bring that to 0. And there we go. So now, with that in mind, we're gonna read again what's up with this. But normally what we're going to do is lubricate the end here, lubricate the front there, and then just spin the crank and note where we are getting at the back there, like in the minus and in the positive, and make the difference between those two. So that should basically bring us to a measurement, and that measurement should be varies by a total acceptable more than 1,000 or so is cause for possible concern. Total acceptable run out varies by application. So if you see anything that perturbs you, consult your machine shop for recommendation. They may even have suggestion for straightening your crank that you may find surprising, like torquing your main cap in place and letting it this straight for you. What? Okay. You should also move the dial indicator to the rear of the crank and measure the run out on the rear flange where the rear seal rides run out there can't exceed 0.002. please note that because there will be no truss bearing in place during the runout checking process, you may hear the relocator ring dragging lightly. Okay, perfect. So shells, lubricate them with oil, then place the crank on top, lube the number one main journal on it too. Set a dollar. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna lube and we're gonna spin. Let's lube the surface. Here I prefer to put a bit more than not enough. So basically what we're going to do is spin that at least one turn, maybe 2 or 3, just to counter verify everything. But basically once we're gonna be done with that, we're gonna be also measuring the wheel at the back there where the engine seals, because that's what they recommend. So we should have almost no play at the front, at the middle, let's say, because that's the middle of the crank, and maybe a tiny bit more at the back, but not much. So let's go. We're gonna see. All right, guys, you see what I see? The needle is not even moving. And it's not because it's not touching. Our surface is perfect. So makes sense with a crank that has been machined by professional. But yeah, if you want to see that even better, like the needle at the bottom here has a contact point. Oh, look at this when I'm spinning that. Absolutely no play at all. That's incredible. Let's go. That's a good news. So verification done on that, and just to show you, like, if I was slightly moving there or removing the, oh wait, I might have no contact actually. Oh, no bueno. Let's apply a bit of pressure there just to make sure. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, because basically the fact that there was absolutely nothing was almost impossible with the fact it's moving. So here we are. It's gonna be hard to. Sure, I will need to set it to intensity. All right, never mind. Scene 1, take 2. There we go. Now you can see there's a bit of movement, but we are going 1,000 forward and less than half at the back. There was a little bit more there. We're back at 0 there. Yeah, we are in the tolerance. We are perfectly in the tolerance. Nice. I'm curious to try it on this other side there. Right here. Let's test that. Perfect. It's pretty much 1,000th. So basically that's not bad. We're close to perfection there. Let's see on the internet what they say, because the book is a bit vague. They say it shouldn't exceed 1,000, which we have right now. So that's okay, but it's like okay good. It's not great good. So we're gonna see what the internet think about it. Maybe that's a mistake. Let me check. So, trust bearing, LQ4, tolerance, run out tolerance. All right, cool. So I just found engine mechanical specification, which is a big Excel sheet with everything on it. Camshaft, crankshaft. So crankshaft bearing clearance. We are spot on in that. All right. Are we in inches or millimeter in there? All right, yeah, we are in inches. Perfect. So I need to look into the English one. Have all the measurement. Crankshaft, connecting rod, journal, no crankshaft. Main journal, out of round, that's not what we're looking at. It's, well, technically, yeah, it's the out of round. Yeah, 0.0001. 0.001? Service limit is a bit higher than that. Everything seems okay. We seems to be right in the ballpark. Let me check the manual or the specification for those. 0.001 dial. So we're moving by that. Crankshaft run out, that's what we're looking. 0.02 inches maximum. Thrust wall, okay. So basically here, I think that's the one. We are spot on the tolerance, which makes sense for an engine that had 200,000 kilometers. So yep. Yeah, because the outer front is the shape. All right, makes sense now. So basically we are pretty much spot on where we need to be, where it is acceptable to have that. And now just making sure with what's written in the book. Give me a second. Rear flange, but yeah, it's ready to run out. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So let's move, and the back we have double the tolerance for that. So let's see what's up with that one. I'm gonna move you guys to the back here, and what we're about to test is that surface here. So we're gonna go like this, like so. Can maybe move you a bit of a more fun place to be. Did I break the cam? Not yet. All right, there you go. So as you can see now, my thing is not really anywhere where it wants to be, so let me just bring that up a little bit. There. I'm gonna be moving that. Yeah, that's probably. I'm gonna go and do a full spin. Free. And now we should have there. Boom. We are pretty much spot on now. So let's see how much is it moving. I don't have a really good point of view there. Not the greatest. Oh, seems like we have a bit more. Just trying to make sure we didn't have too much oil. All right, I'm gonna change it place because right now it's not great for me. Because I need to be able to see it actually. Let's go over here. There you go. I don't think you're gonna be able to see as much as you were, but at least me, it's gonna help me. There we go, spot on 0. If I spin that. Yeah, we are basically in the tolerance of 0.002. We are at 0.0, I will say like 1617. So 0.0016, 0.0017, something like that. We're getting close to the maximum tolerance, but we are still pretty good there. I'm gonna redo, to be fair, the center one just because we're here. We have the time to do that. And like, I feel like maybe I can get a better result now that I spin the crank a little more. So I just want to make sure we have quite a good like reading there. Oh, I was spot on. There we go. Oop. I'm just a little bit into the oil thingy. So we're gonna have to move all the way across. There we go. Yeah, about 0.001, pretty much spot on there. So here, the center one is pretty much on its maximum tolerance. Shouldn't be a problem for what we need to do, but just a good thing to keep in mind that this one is maximum tolerance right now. So, that being said, we just completed another step. Let's move on. Here, what have we done so far? So, from there, if I'm looking here, you should also move the dull indicator to the rear of the crank and measure run out on the rear flange. So that was done exactly like in the picture. Please note that because there will be no truss bearing in place, yeah, this is normal. Perfect. Now, remove the crankshaft, install and lubricate the remaining upper main bearing shell in the block. Set the crank atop, then lube the main journal, then install the main cap with lubricated lower main bearing shells. Use the instruction and sequence details in step 6 through 8, chapter 8 for main cap installation and tightening, being sure to use a hammer to align the truss bearing surface. The crank should now move freely by hand if it does not repeat the truss bearing alignment procedure. If this does not cure the problem, something may be wrong with your block. Main bearing bores and or their alignment, possibly requiring line owning. Sounds good. So let's move on to chapter 8. And it says 6 to... All right, so the main bearing cap. So we're just assembling with engine oil for now, but yeah, let's go and move on to assembling everything. So there we go. Let's grab a bit of coffee before that. So as I just read that, basically, and I'm gonna put you in a more overall view here, because now we're not measuring as many stuff as we were. There you go. So I'm gonna bring the crank out and to the table. Then after that, I'm gonna be basically putting back the bearing in there. So that here on the table, like so. Then I'm gonna bring the bearings. I need to make sure I have super clean hand because we want no oil at the back of those. Want to install them like this. Make sure also we have no paper on them. There you go. Truss bearing time. Same thing goes on here. I wonder why there's no notch on those. Like, I see there could be something to align them, but there's none. But hey, I'm gonna trust the company fabricating those. And then here, let's go like so. There you go. With that said, now we are going to lubricate all these. Let me grab just a piece of paper towel there, and I'm gonna be cleaning the mating surface there. There we go. There we go. So just clean that, and now we're going to lubricate the rest of it. So the three, I'm gonna put even a bit of oil back on those. Once I was afraid, I was petrified. There we go, and here I'm gonna put on the other side. Just making sure to have plenty of oil, because I want them to slip well. Those bearing surface must be wet. There we go. Now I can throw the crank back in place. And taking care of not dropping it, because now our hands are a bit sleepy. There you go. Then I'm gonna be oiling the journal here slightly. Not going too crazy, we just want to make sure it's a little bit wet in there. Just because it's important that there's no metal on metal contact. There we go. Now, with that said, if we follow the procedure here, our main bearing shall lay the main bearing in place, being sure to install each number cap in the correct location. The wings of the edge of the cap all faces toward the rear, exception number 5. Perfect. So now, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna lubricate these a little bit. So putting a bit of oil here, like so. So this is where good preparation take place, so that we won't damage anything like our crank. I'm gonna put a bit more here because we're gonna do also the side on this one. Don't forget, it's the truss bearing, so it needs to sit perfectly to its place, and being wet also on the side. So that's gonna be something we're gonna use actual assembly lube when we're gonna do that for the final assembly, but for now we're just going with straight engine oil, because basically we don't mind having just engine oil that could eventually not evaporate, but like, sheesh.
Datsun 2 just joined the crew.
Jacob, welcome by. Hey, what's up? Hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing great. Thank you for that follow. You just joined the crew. Let's go. Welcome to that stream where we're trying to pretend we know how to assemble engine. There we go. So basically, yeah, like I was saying, we're just assembling with engine lubes for now, just because we're gonna remove everything eventually and like go ahead and clean up everything all over again. So yeah. Welcome, welcome. Happy that you discovered that channel. Happy that to see you here. We appreciate new people in here. So you might notice, but we are basically assembling a V8 engine for my project car. So if you're new here and you want me to go through the project and what's going on and everything, just let me know. It's gonna be with pleasure. There. Now let's drop the bolts back in it. I just want to check if I'm supposed to oil them or not. Sit fully by hand, as remember they are as tight fit between the so the M10 main cap bolt, and start them by hand to guide the cap down. Alternate tightening keys. Yeah, double pin we don't have. Only snug these bolts for now. Then inside, if you're reusing your old side bolts, apply some RTV. Yeah, but we're not in the final assembly, so we are all good. Ow! All right, so let's drop some bolt in here, because that's what professionals do. They assemble things. So there we go, there we go. But we're not professional, we're just people pretending to know what they are doing. So there you go, if you want to see a little bit better. Pom, 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 pom. So now we're gonna be adding everything back in place. There we go. There, let's go. So now it's gonna be a matter of like going ahead and just tightening those like we did this morning. So this morning we did that to like just tie them in place and have everything sitting with plastic gauge. Now we're not having any plastic gauge, so we're going through the procedure to actually put the crank in place. And I don't think, from what I remember on the procedure, that it's going to get removed at all for now. So we're just going ahead and we're gonna be basically tightening all those caps for good until we have to disassemble the full engine. So that's big progression right there. So let me just go ahead and do that first. So Jacobson, I don't know what brings you around here, but how did you discover that channel? Anything specific? Were you just going around on Twitch and saw like a guy writing Crankshaft in his freaking title and you were like, what the hell is that? All right, let's tighten this down. So somehow we're gonna have to smash that in place, but let's see. Cool. So we're going to drop those cap in place. Like we did this morning. Perfect. And hopefully not dropping one to the ground. I'm traumatized since this morning. I was just watching Twitch and saw the engine, so I came to have a look. Well, welcome by. I'm happy you're here. Are you a big car fan? Are you working on some project yourself? Are you just like enjoying car content? I'm always curious to what brings people in here. It's always fun to chat with them. Yesterday we had someone from Germany that is actually doing some hill climb driving, like racing, and he's building cars with his father since he's super young. And like I was like, what the heck? That's amazing. Like, how come you found that channel? That's cool. Give me a minute and I'm gonna run you through the project if you want. Because we're not just doing a simple engine right now, we're doing quite a big thing. I'm working on the same project since July. There we go, so the main caps are dropped in place. Dual front. Dual front. Hey, there you go. So, welcome to my channel, VNTO TV. Welcome to my place, my garage, in which I've put a lot of effort and love to make it a place I love to work on, project and stuff. Basically, I'm not a mechanic at all. I'm a guy usually working in 3D animation in the cinema industry for full CG feature animation film and stuff like that. And since the market is really shitty at the moment, I had a big break, like a big pause of working in that industry over the summer. Well, at the beginning of the last summer, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? And I had this car, a 1979 Datsun 280ZX that was laying around for 10 years because I bought it and it never ran properly. I always dreamed about basically making a huge ass project with that car and was really willing on doing something crazy, something cool, something I will enjoy to drive and that will be way too powerful for my own good. And we are here. Basically, I took a break from 3D industry. I set up a streaming setup in the garage. You can see it here. Side cam. Whoops. Side cam. Oi. Dual side. There you go. So streaming setup on top here, and basically I'm just going around and doing pretty much everything by myself. We had a lot of work done on the car. We have custom subframe, custom direction, steering column and everything. Basically redid the entire wiring loom in there, and we're fitting a 6-liter LS engine with a turbo. So that's gonna be a bit too powerful for that, but that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be a monster. So that's the project. We're doing a lot of things, and right now we are in the pre-assembled procedure for the engine. So we're pretty much taking everything, like putting everything together to test fit and see if everything is sitting well and is the tolerances are respected. So there you go. That's pretty much what we're doing. And yeah, so we're aiming at 600 wheel HP with the car. That's probably going to be too much, to be fair, so I might have to turn it down eventually, but I want the choo-choo noise, so there's gonna be a turbo in it for sure. So let's go. Next step, I'm gonna read in the book, because that's my first engine assembly I'm doing, like a full-on assembly. I disassembled that engine myself 2 years ago. It went to the machine shop and everything, and now we have everything back, so we're pretty much going to try to put it back together. So yeah, cool. Now that we have that, we can sit with all the rest of the bolts. And then it's gonna be the torquing procedure we did this morning. Except that we're starting with 15 pounds on those center bolts, then we're smashing. I thought I was receiving a call, but after that we're smashing with a hammer in here, the crank, and then we're torquing that with the angle torque. Let's just drop those for now. Here we go. All right. So with that in place, let's see the rest of the procedure, but I'm pretty sure it's what we did this morning. So thought the GM recommends these M10 bolts be installed dry. Some engine builders use a small amount of foil on the threads to help prevent any possibilities of thread damage during tightening. You can put some under the head of the bolt too. This is only permissible because these bolts use the torque plus angle method. Doing this will destroy a proper reading if relying on torque spec only. Okay, that's why we can do that. Perfect. So in the sequence shown, before proceeding further, okay, torque all M10 inner bolt. Perfect. Then we're smashing it. Then we're going to move on to that. So cool. Let's use this. Let's use that one. And let's go to the 180 inches per pounds measurement. That is 15 feet per pounds, basically. So going to 185 minus 5, so 180. There you go. So torquing procedure, such an easy one on this one, and that's what I love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Double checking because we're not going to remove any of these. All right, everything is in place. So now, time for hammer time. Hammer time. All right, so I need my rubber hammer, even though it's not in a beautiful shape. We're gonna be smashing that, smashing this, and we should be good. Let me look. Before proceeding further, you must use a rubber mallet to hit the crank rearward, then forward with a rubber. This aligns the truss-bearing surface, and it's important to note that final thrust of the crank must be in the forward direction. Perfect. So, I just want to make sure what they mean by that. Rearward. Technically, that means I should be hitting here first to put it rearward, and then at the back here to push it to the front, right? I'm just going to translate that to my native language to make sure. forward direction, so to the front. Just want to make sure. Micah, I need your help. So. Forward, then forward. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. Traduction. That's not helping me. I'm gonna check if there's not another 1-minute video. I know that you're supposed to tap the crank backward and then forward to align the truss. How critical is it to actually tap the crank backward and forward? I mean, it doesn't seem like it will affect location. The reason I ask is because when I originally reassembled my motor, I did the crank tap, but then I found out I had the wrong length connecting rod, so I had to reassemble the motor again with the correct rods. But the second time around I neglected to tap. The motor is already back in the car and all bolted up. You tap the crank back and forth to get the clearance on the truss bearing, so you can take a filler gauge to check the clearance. Tap the crank forward and then check the clearance between the crank and the main cap. So this is not the LS one, but it is the same method. Checking crankshaft and float truss clearance. Rah! I need help. Anyone speaking English in the chat can give me a hand right there, please. Micah, yo, I need you, boy. I just want to make sure I'm getting that correctly, because there's only one picture right now and I'm not sure what they mean by that. Forward direction, so repeat, I'm in a bush. Okay, perfect, thank you. Thank you, that's commitment. So they say, before proceeding further, you must use a rubber hammer to hit the crank rearward, then forward. This aligns the truss bearing surface, and it is important to note that final truss of the crank must be in the forward direction. Does that mean, since this is the front of the engine, when they say you must hit rearward then forward, is it that I need to push it this way to rearward, then tapping at the back there to make it front, or is it the other way around? Like, and I repeat what they say, the crank must be in the forward position direction, which means technically this side, right? Hit the crank rearward, then forward. Yep, front to back, then back to front. You can verify with a video, but that's how I learned on my Chevy motors. Perfect, well, that's what I thought it was. That's what it seems to be. That's what logical, because basically at the back here you have surface to seal, but at the front you're gonna have all the gear, the timing chain and everything, so that makes more sense. So let's go. I don't know how hard I'm supposed to hit that. I haven't seen a lot of things happen, but I guess that's enough. I mean, I can do it a bit harder, daddy. There you go. Sounds good. Let's go disalign the truss bearing surface, and this is important. Then use your torque angle and add 80 degrees to those top thing. And then we're doing the same thing at the bottom, 15 pounds, then 51 degrees. All right, sounds good, perfect, thank you. Yeah, you're not seeing that move, to be fair, like it's not moving at all, but it's probably like half a millimeter of play or something like that. So that makes sense. All right, let's throw those in place too. All right, let me grab something to actually put them in. All right, thank you, Micah. Thank you to that bush for being there while you were saving your friend again. You're the man. So the truss bearing should be seated properly with a bit more clearance at the back than at the front, which is perfect. So we're gonna do after that the 80 degrees on the center main cap bolt, then do the 15 pounds plus 51 degrees on the outer bolts, then torque those on the side, and the crank should be spinning freely. If it's not, we did something wrong. Micah saved the day. Thank you so much. And since you already done that on another Chevy engine, that makes more sense. There we go. So everything's seated in place. Now let's move on to that big ass thing. So that's not the right one. The right one should be around here. There. On top of that. So again, that here, that there. All right, there you go. So now, 80 degrees. Like we did this morning. Getting real tight. Same Oh, that was almost spot on. Same for that one. Oh no, we lost the thingy. The socket stay in there. There we go. With just a few degrees of difference. My BMW had its 90 degrees, so 10 degrees more than what we're doing now, 2 times. That's crazy. Hey, we might be good to do it all in one go with one point, because even if the thing is moving, it is working great so far. Whew. Not gonna lie, that's a lot of force in there. go. It's just here that we won't be able to do that one in one go. It's not that hard to work on an engine, to be fair. Just have to take your time and do those steps where they ask for precise measurement. Right, last one. There you go. Perfect. Now if we keep going, just going to put that here. All right, so now torque all M10 outer main bolt number 11 to 20 in sequence. Then add this and then the sides, so perfect. Ow. So that's okay. Now what I need to, oh yeah, for those I needed that one because I didn't have a small enough thing. So 15 here, and there we're going to that. One, two, oh yeah, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Checking. Perfect. So with that done, now we're moving on to the big one, 51 degrees addition right there. There we go. 51. Oh, spot on. 51. 51. 51. 51. I'm repeating myself, but just a way to know what I've done is good so far, because that one you cannot retest it. 51. Then on the other end, do I have enough reach? I should. Hell yeah. there. And then I'll come here, do these two. Final one. That was hard on the finger there. Zeros here. Forgot to put a bit of pressure to already be in place. There you go. And 51. There you go. Boom. Main cap done. On top, just need to add those side measurement there, and we're gonna be good. So that to 18. These. So this one doesn't have any specific order, but I prefer to go in the same order I'm used to. This way I'm a bit safer on not forgetting any. There we go, boom. So, ultimate test right now is coming our way. Let's go back to the pre-assembly procedure. So with that done, being sure to use a hammer to align the truss bearing. The crank should now move freely by hand. If does not, it's bad. All right, is it spinning, guys? Hey, let's go. And it's really like super lightweight. I'm not forcing at all, like I can do it with just woo, perfect. GG. We're winning right now. Are you winning, son? Step 10, there are a couple ways to check that your truss bearing center or number 3 main bearing is allowing the proper crankshaft end play. The simpler way is via a filler gauge. Okay, was that so? A filler gauge, insert a large flathead screwdriver between a crank counterweight and a main cap and pry rearward and forward, measuring the space between the truss surface on the crank and the truss bearing. Okay, between the truss surface on the crank and the truss bearing. What? The truss surface on the crank, yeah. Oh. To measure this is to mount, okay, the more accurate way to measure this is to mount a dial indicator to read off the crank snoot, so at the front or rear crank flange, either one. Okay, cool. So it should be between 0.0015 and 0.0078. Okay, so that's quite a lot. Let's see. So we are going to use our dial indicator and put it on the front there, and we're gonna see if we're having enough clearance and everything. So we will we will take the time to see if everything is right in the place. So just clean my hand another time a little bit to make sure that we are not getting out of hand. Oh. All right, let's do this, let's do that. Cool. So basically what I'm going to do is to make sure that we are here, we are there. Oh, and see if I can. Oh, is that, what's that? Wait a sec. Oh, that's too, oh, that's cool. That's gonna be one of the best way to see if we're having any trouble. All right. Not the greatest that. Let's try to go halfway there. I'm not sure which one is actually, oh, it's in the block itself, yikes. That's why. That one is at the back there. All right, that should help. There we go, boom. So now with that said, there we go. There you go, boom. All right, so now flat screwdriver. I'm gonna clean one because I want to use a really clean one. And we're gonna go ahead and measure that tolerance there. So basically from what the book's saying, if I'm using a dull caliper, as you probably 4N AFT, 4.5. Oh, basically forward and backward, I guess, which would make sense. Just cleaning a little bit more that screwdriver because it was not in particular good shape. There you go. So they say to use that where already prior, rearward, and forward, measuring the space between the truss surface. Yeah, okay, for the simpler ways you have filler gauge, insert a large flathead screwdriver between the crank and counterweight. Between a crank counterweight and a main cap, so here basically. So if I'm going here, 0.1, and at the back here, minus 0.002. So that's doing a total of 0.003. Yep, that's what they recommend, I think. Wait. So going at the front, right here, I just got with quite a decent amount of force. I just got like 0.0015, which is the minimum, and here 0.002. So that will make it 0.0035. And here, between 0.0015, which is what we have forward, and 0.0075, and we are at 35. We're spot on there. So I'm gonna push it back to 0, just to make sure we are in our spot, but basically our clearance there is good. I cannot put it, yep. Yep, we are at between, I will say, 0.0035 and 0.0037 basically. Looking at this, because it changed always a little bit, but boom, we're spot on. Let's go, more progression. So let's remove that. I love that thing here. That tool is really one of my favorite. The dial gauge is so good. And that was the most accurate way to do it. So we are professional. Let's go. So right now, that means our crank is pretty much spot on where it needs to be, which is amazing. So that deserves a little bit of coffee in my mouth. But yeah, basically right now we just verified pretty much everything, I think, related to the crankshaft. I'm just going to make sure we are still needing to check the reluctor ring to see if it's still aligning well. So this here, for those who don't know what that is, it's that little wheel at the back that has some tooth on it, so right here, and this is basically sending a signal to the ECU to know its timing position. So that's what we're going to do with the dial gauge again. So yep, let me drink a little bit. Welcome to everybody joining right now. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. Mount a dial indicator to read off the back of the relocator ring about 1 millimeter below the teeth. Perfect. While holding the crank forward or rearward with slight pressure to eliminate thrust clearance, spin the crank and note the dial indicator. Okay, I need to apply slight pressure. Okay. Lateral movement beyond. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna do that right now. So we're gonna go here, use our dial indicator there, and we're gonna go and set that somewhere around here. I think we're gonna be pretty flush to that. Actually, not too bad. My hand is stuck. All right. This magnet is strong AF. So around a millimeter under the teeth right there. And we're gonna set that to, whoops, to 0 right here. Or around 0, because we're gonna have to work it out a little bit more. That's annoying a little bit. We are a little bit too flush to my taste. Oh, that's probably helping quite a lot to actually adjust it. Yep, I'm gonna take back the screwdriver. It's over there on towels, so I didn't get too much schmutz on it. So we're gonna need to apply, not on the truss, please. Apply a little bit of pressure like this to eliminate that, but just a touch. I'm gonna use this actually to, hey, we're getting better at this. And now I'm gonna move it. Whoa, I think, oh yeah, that's true. I won't be able to keep that there. Whoa, that's moving a lot. So I need to make sure we're staying. I don't know how to properly apply the pressure there. I don't know if you see the gauge. Wait a sec. Wait a second. Show it to you there. Well, look at this. that gauge is going nuts, which is okay. I mean, it can be, and the measurement was really more loose on that. Basically, it's 0.028, so it can move by 28 thing there. So we're gonna have to make sure we're not going out of that. So I'm gonna reset on 0 here. Apply slight pressure to that to remove the free play there. So 0, and I'm gonna spin that and see where. So that's 0.01. We're going around here to 0.013, 0.014. Then I'm gonna have to move there. And we're moving to the other side. Whoa, shit. So I'm gonna need to do that one here. So we are probably out of range a little bit. Lateral movement beyond 0.028, so okay, the need to replace the reluctor ring, but they just replaced it. I want to see without prying or anything what I'm getting there. So basically I can move about, so that's pretty much the further back I'm going. So I'm gonna start there. That's just going to facilitate my actual reading of the thing. All right, that's not the best. If we have that, I'm gonna have to talk to the machine shop, but here I'm flush to that, so let me just try to go there. Yeah, we're going past that by a good amount. So just before it moves up, there. All right, so now we're gonna have a better reading of that because I started at the bottom there. So they said forward or backward, so I'm gonna start a bit backward. Yeah, we're going to 0.03. Like, let's say 0.033, which is not that far, but not that great. So let's see the internet. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to road to my machine shop. Yeah, if I'm not applying pressure, it's basically 0.035, I will say, and with a bit of pressure forward, 0.033. All right, that's part of the game, we'll see, and I know they have damaged that on the actual the reluctor wheel, the ring there was already damaged in transport. They replaced it. It's brand new, but on their expense. But yeah, I don't know what's up with that. So what the internet does says for that. LQ4 reluctor wheel max. How do they call that tolerance there? Run out. Yeah, I'm gonna write to my my friend who's working to the place. All right, so I'm gonna take a picture to him so that if I'm doing something wrong on just taking the measurement, he's gonna also tell me you're not supposed to do that there or something like that. Yep, so that, I know you had to change it due to damage during transport. Alright, I'm gonna validate that in the book, that I'm not missing a zero in there. No, I'm all good. All right. So basically, sorry for that. I just wrote to the guy who basically worked to the place where they machined that engine, and they sent the crank to get the balance somewhere else. But in the transport, there was a damage to the reluctor wheel, which is sad, but that happens sometimes. And they basically replaced it. So the fact that it's not into the tolerance right now, it's kind of me, but not me problem, since it's been a while. But at the same time, yeah, that should be pretty much lining up. So I'm gonna see what he has to do. I've seen quickly on the internet that it seems like it's super easy to pretty much like fix that. It seems like it's something you can have quite a bit of play with it, but I'm gonna see if he has any comments for me on that. Let's read the next following step in the meantime, because maybe he's gonna be quick on the answer, who knows. They are doing quite a lot of those. So dual front, there we go. So me reading and being geeky. So after that, what we are going to do is Ooh, that's the last step for the crankshaft. After that, we are installing the camshaft. Oh, yikes. Lubricate the camshaft bearing journal as well as the first lobe toward the front of the cam and slowly insert it into the block. See step 25 in chapter 8 for cam installation hints. Once the cam is in, check that it spins freely. If it doesn't or fails to go in all the way, remove the cam and have a look inside the block for any oh, I think he just answered to me. No, it's not that. It's Hawk. If you're here, Hawk, good evening. Well, it's not actually the evening, but yeah. All right, so, yep, remove the cam and have a look inside the block for any possible problems with improperly installing correct or out of shape cam bearing. They are all brand new. That's gonna help so much. That's gonna be wonderful. If the bearings are okay, the problem is likely with the cam itself. Shouldn't be. It's brand new. So that's cool. If you are reusing a stock cam, you should have check it for journal roundness problems in chapter 4. Not a case in here. Do this now if using an aftermarket. Do this now if you're using aftermarket cam. It is difficult, albeit impossible, to get an accurate reading of for a cam straightness on V-blocks. So they recommend having this specification check at the machine shop. Any more than a 0.002 inch runout measured at the intermediate journal is generally unacceptable. Shouldn't be a problem. We're gonna install it straight there. That's no big deal. So yeah, installing timing set and verify camshaft play. We're getting there, guys. We're gonna basically start synchronizing the crankshaft with the cam and everything. That's gonna be so cool. But like, I have no clue where we're heading with that right now. Well, not true at all. Actually, I do have a good idea, but yeah, that's gonna be quite insane. And after that, we're putting the piston in for the first time. Let me check if we have another. Yeah, we have some plastic gauge measurement there. So I'm gonna go straight on freaking Amazon and oh, is that an answer? All right, so he asked me if I have the same measurement, doing that, like removing the pressure from prying at the front or prying at the back. So we are going to set it back to 0 around here. Yep, 0. Then we're gonna pry it towards the back now. So that. So we're gonna go back to that. We're gonna pry it towards the back again. 34 something there. Then we're gonna move back here. Push it to the front. So we're out of measure here. Oops. So here, it's just pretty much right there, and move that to the front. Maybe like 0.0001 difference. All right, so I feel a bit bad for messaging him when he's working, but at the same time, the guy's working for the shop who did that. So I'm like, can I have a bit of help? Because was supposed to be working. The engine was working great before that. So I'm just afraid because basically the reason why it is like quite a big deal here is that we have a big sensor going straight to that and reading that here, those teeth, and that is sending to the ECU the signal for which it's gonna be like, hey, you're in that position, hey, you're at this moment, hey, like make spark, push fuel, like all the timing is based on that basically. That being said, that also means that if it's having too much of a run out, so wobbling a little bit at some really tiny spot, the sensor could miss its rating, which mean bad firing, bad stuff, and a problem with making the engine run properly. From what I've read on the internet looking on it just a few minutes ago, I don't think that will be a big thing on low RPM drive, like driving in town and stuff, but at higher RPM, that could be a big difference. That could be a problem. So with that being said, I was about to order some more plastic gauge, hoping it will be there soon. Plastic gauge, the green one. Plastic gauge. Saturday. Yeah, pretty much all Saturday. Wait. I'm guessing that's gonna be the one. Is it just one of these? Technically, I will have enough with that, I think. But look, it's still $20 for one pack. That's crazy. Not that it's a lot, just more than expected. Let's say that this way. All right, after that, I think we're good. No more clearance or anything. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to maybe look at. Final assembly, we're getting there. Holy shit, we have about more than half, not more than half, but we have a lot of big things done right now. So honestly, next week, starting the final assembly might be a thing, guys. It's looking good for that. I need to take a look on the actual oil pan if I can thread or like resize those things here for some bigger hose. That would be great. Or I can maybe thread it for dash 8 and then go just with a conversion fitting before getting into the module. All right, let me check that. So. What we want to see here, because if we're putting bigger holes, that means less pressure probably, but it's not bad because we have bigger flow also. Okay, so plastic gauge in the cart and push rod length checker. All right, it's $15. We're gonna buy one. it's gonna be here in too long, so oh no, in 2 days. Perfect. So that will be a thing for next week. Oh, the first one is not having as much great reviews as this one, so we might go with that one. Okay, we have 7 inches and that's going all the way in between. All right, let's buy one. We're gonna check our push rod. Technically, it's supposed to be a cam that requires standard push rod with everything being standard, but let's go ahead. Let's order the last tool we need. We won't go over one of the verification at this point. There you go. Order, close the eyes on the price. Let's go. We will have more plastic gauge and we're gonna have more stuff to go through this. So basically from that now on, what do we have left in here? Just to know if it's worth streaming tomorrow or going ahead and waiting for those things to arrive. So the plastic gauge, we don't need it, and well, no, we just ordered plastic gauge. So it's gonna be all about reluctor ring right now. So I'm gonna see if he's answering me. Maybe he just finished his break. So we'll see. Cause after that, we're going into that. All right, so that, and then we're gonna be splitting the connecting rod and preparing the piston. Yep, so we're getting pretty much there. That's fine. In the meantime, since we're waiting for a little answer there, we're gonna go ahead and take out the camshaft. Well, not taking it out fully, but like just bringing it to the front here, and the timing chain. Again, since we are aiming at more power, okay, hello there. We're gonna be setting pretty much timing chain with, this is the oil pump, I think, yep. We're gonna be setting a timing chain that is a dual roller instead of just a single one. The idea here being we want to make sure that the stress is spread around everything. So I had it not long ago, just need to find it back. That's my cam here. If the cam can follow, don't need the spring just yet. Performance camshaft. So we're going with a Summit stage 3 turbo cam, which is supposed to suit, like the name says, the turbo setup we're going with. I ordered it after talking to the client service from Summit, because I didn't want to go and just buy something without having proper confirmation that it is good for the usage. What I asked them is pretty simple. Is this cam is suitable for running on the street and making decent power, aiming at 600 HP turbo? And they were like, yes and yes. So I was like, cool. Because I was also like having an hesitation between that one and actually, no, it's there. And actually the one from the same one but stage 2, because the stage 2 was a bit more street usage, some time on the track, and the stage 3 is a little bit more aggressive, but the guy said honestly it's not that bad. Most of the cam for street use are almost the same as the one stage 3, so there you go, double roller chain. And we are supposed to have picked the oil pump that's gonna allow us to use this here. So the double chain, the double roller. And basically once we're gonna put that, we might have to just grind a little bit the cover at the front here, because it will be scratching a little bit on the chain. So that's no big deal, because honestly, like, you're just taking a sander and removing material from an aluminum bottom cap, so it's not even hard to do. I just don't get exactly which part, but I wonder if it's not one of these things at the bottom here or that. I'm not sure. Here we couldn't really remove that, or maybe it's just part of that. I don't know, but part of the casting might needs to get a bit trimmed in here. So we're just going to see what's going on with that. No big deal. Cool. Hey, we have some huge progression right now. Gonna have to make sure we're not leaving any dust in there, that everything looks great, but so far this is spinning freely and really greatly. Is that's making that sound? Yes, it is. Perfect. If I'm going really more a millimeter under, yeah, we're pretty much in the same place. Yeah, in the 0.35 if I'm not removing the weight. Yep, so we're gonna wait for an answer for that. All right, I think we're gonna get stuck about right here, guys, because otherwise it will be going to the camshaft, and I don't want to be going to that right now if we're not about to basically go ahead and make everything clean and ready to be like holding in there for good. So might as well wait a little bit for before going forward. I'm gonna wait for my friend to send me a bunch of indication there. I'm gonna go read on the internet also. And you know what? That friend, by the way, is the same guy that did the custom bushing for the steering rack, which is pretty amazing. That guy is really, really good in what he's doing. That's so good. There we go. Dual side. We did something. So far, we did something. It's not like our afternoon was lost. Look, we have a rotative assembly in here, almost not full, like not to its full potentials, because we need the piston and stuff, but we're getting somewhere. That's so good, guys. I'm really happy with that. So we're gonna be looking forward for that. I need to check again for the plug here for the water. Those I'm not sure. That's one of the sensors. So I'm gonna have a bunch of sensors I'm gonna be missing, but since it's all the one on the outside of the engine, even when it's gonna be fully assembled, we can order them and just call them. I probably have a bunch over there in those racks, so I'm just going to take a look at it. Block sensors, I see already. One back here full of sensors, yup. So we're gonna look through that, plugs and sensor. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. All right, am I waiting a little bit more, or are we leaving it there? I think we're gonna be leaving it there. And like I said, if I have my answer tonight, I might come back tomorrow for a bonus stream where we're gonna try to go and put the camshaft in it. So that will be amazing. So bearings in place. Doesn't seem like there was a problem with the main cap. We don't hear any scratching noise now with that, so that's good. I don't see anything visually that's a problem here. The place where it hit the ground, I can see it here, it's on the top, so that's okay. That was the worst bad luck ever. And pretty much, yeah, we're in such a great place. I love it so much. Thank you guys for being here. I love you all. That was a fantastic week so far, and I'm looking forward to maybe stream a random stream tomorrow in the day. Like I said, probably in the morning, probably like morning somewhere around 10, and get on and do the amount of work I want to do on it, I feel for doing on it, and after that leave for the weekend and be back on Monday for that. So I'll see you there. Have a nice weekend if you're not coming back here, and I love you all. So see you, bye. Bye.